What's up, everybody?
Hi! Okay, can we all just say that Sean's video he put together for the countdown was epic because...
Oh, thanks. Oh, shucks.
He is just great. I know you all know that. But hello, thank you for joining us on a Sunday night. We wanted to do something different and fun, and we have never done a YouTube Live, so we're so pumped that y'all are here. Thank you for joining us and for making us a part of your weekly routine, especially tonight. It means a lot.
And can everybody hear us okay? We should probably start there.
That's a good point.
This is our first time, and we have all of our equipment and everything in this nice, tiny RV, and we've got Nash right here. Let's make sure everybody can see him before we get started. He's just chilling, doing what he does best.
He's so cute, you guys. I literally love him so much. Every post I post about him on Instagram, I just want to be like, this is Nash and I'm obsessed with him.
You can have a treat.
But yes, thank you guys. If you ever have trouble hearing us, again, this is our first rodeo doing this. So please let us know in the comments if for some reason y'all can't hear us.
Yes.
Or if there's a connection issue. And that's when I will look to Sean to troubleshoot.
And we'll try and figure it out. But
because I'm not tech savvy.
So one of the things that we've learned a lot about, which I don't know that we found the perfect solution yet, is internet on the road. And so we've got some redundancy in place in case we're breaking up or anything. But we have our best plan with Verizon right now streaming. So hopefully that works because the other ones aren't as good. So if we have any issues, just let us know. We can see all the comments that you guys are putting as well.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And if you guys are like, where are you? I don't know, because you can't see where we are.
Well, it's dark out and you can see the light, but where are we? Tell them where we're at.
We are in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. We are here for the Lippert Rally, the very first annual Lippert getaway. And we got here a few days early because we wanted time to relax and get all of our stuff together before everybody got here. But yeah, we're here. If you don't know, we work very closely with Lippert to make this tour possible. And we are some ambassadors for them. So some ambassadors are coming early and Lippert Scouts are going to be here this whole week. And we're really excited for that.
Yeah, we have somebody coming. McKenny, or is it Spence? I don't know. But either way, we can't wait to meet you. That's
you have
amazing.
A golden? Because, so sweet. Oh, yeah, our English cream golden retriever.
So cool.
That is so sweet. Well, we cannot wait to see you. It's a great campground. There is a dog park here, so we will see you there.
And there's another golden here, too.
There's already another golden, a little English cream.
Yep.
But yeah, we're here for the getaway. We're so pumped. We cannot wait to share all of that, hopefully in a week or two in our episode with you about what this week is going to be like, but we're just ecstatic. And if you didn't already get this, the comments, leave questions. If you guys have questions as we go and talk through, we're going to be talking about a lot tonight. We're going to be talking a lot about a recap of the last couple of months for us.
Yep.
We're going to be talking about what we hope next year is going to be like. We have some really fun announcements towards the end.
Some pretty big news.
Yeah, so be sure to stick around.
Exciting.
We are so excited to share that with y'all. But in the meantime, if you have any clarifying questions or you want to know something, use that comment box and we'll be looking at that pretty frequently and we will answer your questions as we're going. And if it's just random, we might wait till the end. We might answer it on the spot.
Yeah.
So do that.
And if we're rambling, just tell us. This is our first time.
Yes.
So
Sean will.
We know how to record and then edit, but the whole live thing is totally new. So.
Sean's gonna be like nudging me, and he's gonna be like, "Land the plane, land the plane," and I'm like, "I just like talking." But yeah, do you want to kind of give a recap of the last couple of months for us?
Yeah. So we've obviously been doing this tour since technically January, but we left Nashville on Veterans Day of 2020, so that's November 11th, and we had some plans, that were very missional focused on what we were doing, but we also kind of had some bucket list plans of things that we wanted to do while we had this awesome tool of an RV, to see around the country. And two of those were South Dakota and Montana. And if you've watched those episodes, there's 4 of them in total. We wanted to break it into, a couple different, because we tested with the Michigan episode, like putting everything in one versus spreading it out a little bit more. So you were a little bit more real time with us. But we just absolutely loved both of those states. I mean, they were,
how could you not?
They were so magnificent. They were so beautiful. We had lived in California for a little bit previously, and, we lived around mountains, but there was just something about how majestic Glacier was, first and foremost. But then, Custer State Park and the western part of South Dakota, and we loved the eastern part of South Dakota, as well. But maybe we talk about like three of our top things from what we learned, or hey, Nash.
Nash
we know you're there, buddy.
Nash, you guys all say Nash is he's very lazy, except when we're making dinner, he's the best sous chef. And like anytime we do recording, he's like, wait, I want to be a part of this.
We're like, we've got about 10 square feet that we can use right here with all the equipment.
Yeah. So to loop back though about what Sean said, I mean, if we were to give 3 key
like what
takeaways.
We observed. Yeah. What are the big takeaways?
Number 1, South Dakota. And this is also a preference to say that I think a lot of places we might say this. I feel like we were going to say this about Idaho, but I haven't been there yet. Yeah. South Dakota is one of the most underrated states. We think it is an absolute gem. The people there are so kind.
So nice. Yeah.
Like the weather fluctuations are crazy, but other than that, like it's magnificent.
Well, but it felt like the West, and there's this whole thing that's called the East River, West River, and that's where I'm totally on the spot right now. I probably should have looked. I'm pretty sure it's the Missouri River that divides the two areas, and it's crazy because when you're on the East River side, when you're in like Sioux Falls, it feels Midwest. Like
it does.
You have some humidity, and the weather feels like that. And when you get on the west side of that river, it's like you're in the West. Like truly, the humidity drops a little bit. You start to get some elevation. You've got crisp nights that are more like fall every night.
Yeah. Who doesn't love that?
I know, right?
Especially after the summer we've had.
But yeah, South Dakota was amazing. We are so excited to get back there. We made some awesome friends on that Rapid City stop as well. And it was just a really good time.
Yeah. What do you think about Montana?
Well, we loved it. And if you saw the footage, like it was very smoky.
So smoky.
It was still very beautiful. You know, knowing the destruction that the fires caused, like we're well aware of that. And it was very sad to see. And we actually drove through an area that had just reopened after a fire literally ravaged it. And it was like going through a movie scene because there were cars that were burned that you could see. There were houses that were entirely burned, and all you saw was literally the foundation that was like brick. So that was pretty wild. But overall, you know, the one thing that we were most surprised with Montana, and if anybody's watching from Montana, I'm sure, number 1, you can validate this. And number 2, you can help fix the problem, which is it's not very dog friendly.
No.
We're really bummed.
No, we're so used to just, I say city life loosely, but we're just, because Nashville, when we lived there full-time prior to full-time RVing, Nashville is working on being more dog friendly, but we're just so used to being able, anytime we sit on a patio, to take Nash with us when we're eating or just to walk around. And we didn't have that in Montana. So that was definitely a bummer, but we had tons of outdoor activities to do with him, which was really sweet. I mean, he swam so many times.
We did.
But yeah, I think though too, like one, and we'll round this out like with our third, I think my favorite thing about Montana was Glacier.
Yeah.
It is, if you have been, you know what I'm talking about, but Glacier is the most epic, like.
As overrated as everybody would say, or not, I don't know how you say
it's not
that. Like, as rated as highly as what people say.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
It is so majestic.
Amazing.
Though, I mean, if you've ever, which we just connected with another couple that just drove going to the Sun Road. I mean, if you saw the episode, we had a little encounter, but it was still super great. I mean, I had a moment where I wanted to cry during that, but other than that, I mean, it's just so, so beautiful. And if you've been to going to the Sun Road and you've done that, we would love to hear your experience. Hopefully no one else hit you.
Yes.
So,
so who do we have here? Let's see. We've got Jordan. I know we totally missed you both times when we were driving through there. So
what are the odds about that, by the way?
I know. We can't wait to see you. We'll come through Sioux Falls again soon. Let's see here. Amber's on.
Oh,
hey, Amber.
So Amber and I know each other through Instagram from like years ago, and I'm so glad that you're watching tonight, honey. We finally got a chance to catch up for a very long overdue phone call this week. So Margie, thank you so much for joining.
Yes, it's good to see you.
It is so hard when places are not dog friendly because you just get so accustomed to it. And if you're in a new spot, which we always are, you're like, oh.
Yeah, it's tough.
Okay, oh yeah. And Amber, my friend from California, she is joining. Amber, we are going to be talking about our very exciting event that we have coming up towards the end of the year. We're going to be talking about that in a little bit. So
definitely stay tuned for that one.
Oh,
got Doyle
someone's from San Diego.
We lived in San Diego for a while. We were in the Torrey Hills area. And we've got Keith and Rainey. If you guys haven't watched their YouTube or seen them on Instagram, they're probably the most funny people. I'd say between them and Kyle and Renee with Happily Ever Hanks.
So whenever we're talking with them, which we talk with them, I feel like now on a daily basis, but I'm like, I am not funny in comparison to them.
Like, you gotta step your game up.
If you guys want a good laugh, always, always, always follow Keith and Rainey and Kyle and Renee. They are hilarious.
And yes, to answer your question, I should pull that back up. We have used that. So that's the interesting thing is when we researched Montana, we were like, oh my gosh, this is so dog friendly. There's so many places. We got there and like a lot of the data was super old. So either there's a restaurant that was closed or they weren't dog friendly anymore. And it was kind of a bummer. So I don't know how they update the information, but for us, it was a little out of date. And we had, Will, thank you. Didn't have to do that.
You didn't even say anything, but you were so sweet. Thank you, Will.
We really appreciate that.
Okay, wait. Margie says she has a question.
Oh yeah, shoot. Go ahead and type it. Well, so John, I think you were talking with John today or yesterday.
John is my new best friend. Listen to this, you guys. He invited his friends over, his neighbors. They are grilling out right now. He texted us this. So I'm like, that is so fun. I wish we were there. And I'm like, we kind of are going to be there. Throw on a hot dog for us.
Exactly. So this is a great question.
It depends on the day.
Yeah, it does depend on the day. Like,
wait, so the question is, do you think you'll ever go back to a brick and mortar? So just like a normal home with a foundation.
Yeah. I mean, so with the RV life, there are days we wake up and we're like, this is amazing. We're going to do it indefinitely for the rest of our life. And then there's some days we're like, man, it would be nice to have like a normal sized residential shower, and just things like that. So all of that to say, I think over time, it probably would be a good idea to have some form of a home base, but at least as we've talked about, it would be radically different than what we've done before. So it would be something like we really like these things called barn dominiums, barndos, or we learned in Iowa they're called shomes, a shed home.
Super creative. That.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. And those are, let me hide this real quick. Those are really inexpensive to build, but you can get a lot of square footage out of them and just use it, on a lot of land and that sort of thing. So it's something we're active in the conversation. We don't really have the answer right now, but we really love what we're doing. And as you'll hear from some of the news, we're going to continue what we're doing.
Yeah, but I do think it is still important. Like we still have our storage unit. Every time we think of our storage unit, we're like, why are we paying to keep this stuff? And we didn't keep a lot. We sold a lot, but we still do have
like some mementos and stuff from childhood, high school.
Yeah, and we're like, we should really have some kind of home. But yeah, I don't know. I have learned that there's a family they'll like travel for 3 months or so, and then they'll come home for a month, they'll regroup. That kind of stuff is just easier. This last week we were in Nashville, which was home base for us prior to RVing, and we had to run so many errands like haircuts, dentist appointments. Nash went to the vet. Like there were so many things, and it made for a very stressful week, and you just felt so rushed. So I would like to maybe get on a little bit better of a cadence with that. So
but
having home base,
TBD. So keep the questions coming. Isaac, here we go.
Oh, Chicago. So what's up, Isaac? I am from Valparaiso, Indiana, originally. That is my hometown, the region. I would love for us to get up to Chicago. Yeah. We are planning our route a little bit better. Nash, we are planning our route a little bit better for next year, so stay tuned. We love the Windy City. Hey, Barb. Oh, I love you. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Thank you for joining us. So Barb, again, I know her through Instagram.
Oh, and then there Will. So there's Will's message. So can't wait to see you in Florida. Yes. And that we will allude to that here as part of the news of where we're going to be this winter, because as you guys know, Texas was not very good to us last year with the snowstorm.
No way.
Outside of that, we loved it, but we're probably going to just stick to Florida this year. But maybe let's talk a little bit about, and we do have a little outline over here. So if you see us looking that way.
Yes, RVing has made us have what we call spaghetti brain. Yeah. So we are all over the place.
Be organized.
Yes.
So let's talk just a little bit about like this year. Just in general. We won't go extensive on this because you've seen a lot through the videos, if not pretty much everything. But, I think we had an idea of what this would be. as we went into it and as we launched into this mission of ours, and almost ministry in a way too. And it's been like 100 times better than what we could have ever imagined. I mean, as you can see from these comments, like most of the people here, we didn't know before this, and we've gotten to engage with people online, and then some people we've, because the US is huge, and when you break it down traveling in an RV, you think you can hit everything, and you can't even come close.
No.
And we've literally, if you check this out, I have this ready to go. This was my moment. I was hoping to share this. So we
I love you.
get this up here. This is what we've traveled so far this year. This is our route, and I just closed the little tab so it wasn't distracting, but what it said was 10,688 miles is what we've traveled so far this year.
Now that is just with our RV attached to our truck. So obviously we have put a lot more miles on just the truck getting to and from places.
Yep.
But yeah, that's just getting to and from our destinations, which is wild.
It's pretty wild. And yeah, it's been about 30,000 miles on the truck in total with, all the driving we do while we're at a tour stop and that sort of thing. So
yeah.
It just, it's one of those things where you have an idea of something, and until you press into it, and until you're really intentional about literally just moving it forward, you don't really know what's on the other side of that. And if you've had the opportunity to watch the 5K everyday video that I posted, which we'll be posting the follow-up part 2 to that here in a couple weeks. But if you just commit to something and you don't leave failure, or you leave failure off the table, and you have a zero option mentality, it's incredible what you can do. And when we looked back, and honestly, like, things moved so quickly for us that we didn't really feel this until we had time to reflect on it, which really wasn't until probably February or March, 90 days or so into this thing, is the weight of what really happened, and just how, we sold most of our stuff, and we went all in on this. And we can say, sitting on the other side of that decision, we would make it 100 times over. And I think that's what's been so incredible, is it's even better than what we thought launching into this. We've met more people than we thought we would. There is so much community inside the RV community, and anybody that's on here that is in an RV or has an RV or travels even remotely with a community like that totally knows what we're saying. And it's just something we wouldn't have picked up if we hadn't pressed into this. And it's just, I think the biggest takeaway that I have from this year is, and I don't want to sound like Nike, but just do it. Like, if you have something out there that's a goal or a dream or something big or small or whatever it is, just go after it, because you don't know what's on the other side of that. You might fail. You might fail miserably. But as I've learned, and as Christine have learned, and I'm sure everybody on here has learned at some point, you learn the most from your failures. So we shouldn't have fear in doing that. And I think that's just, I'm getting to the point of rambling at this point, but I think that's just the biggest thing, is like, if we wouldn't have made that decision, and if those sequence of events wouldn't have occurred, we wouldn't have what we do today with these new relationships, and all the people Nash has met, and all the people we've met that have impacted us along this, which we're going to share about one of them in particular. It's just so incredible.
Yeah. And I just think too, in anybody that RVs, whether they do it full-time or part-time, you just learn really quickly what you can live with and what you can live without. And I think it has been so unique for us at the age that we're at, in our early-ish 30s, to break free from that consumerism state of mind. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. But for us, we just really wanted more experiences. And this has been a really wonderful way for our little family to do that. And we've been so, so grateful. So yeah, I just want to encourage you and ditto everything that Sean said.
Yeah.
We've been so happy and also so fortunate. We also every day we get into the truck to drive somewhere, we pray. And at the end of our prayer, we're like, Lord, thank you so much for this opportunity. Like, we really don't take it lightly. So, okay, Margie, I raised my girls with the saying, how do you eat an elephant one bite at a time? Anything is possible if you take it just one step.
That's absolutely true.
So true. Yeah. I love that.
And it's the kind of thing too, where if you focus too much on the elephant, you're going to have analysis paralysis, and you'll just never move forward. So
that's me.
Even by logic, like it would make sense to just take one bite at a time, or, one step at a time if you're climbing the mountain, that sort of thing. It's a very, very good wisdom there. Connie's here.
So this is Grandma Connie. So Connie owns Majestic Manor Goldens, which is where we got Nash in Sheridan, Indiana, which is just north of Indianapolis. And I love talking to you earlier too, Connie. Okay, Isaac asked about where you can buy Nashies treats.
Oh yeah, there we go.
We did not miss that. So Nashies, for those of you that don't know, we don't talk about this a ton, but it's still like our heart and soul.
It is.
But we launched in April of 2020 Nashies treats. They're single ingredient, fully cooked, freeze-dried treats. We have beef, chicken, and cheese. You can buy those at nashies.com.
Yep.
That's NASHIES.com.
And we're out of stock on cheese and beef, but
for a few more weeks.
Yeah, and we're almost out of stock of chicken. But that'll be coming at the end of September. And we've got some exciting announcements with that too.
Yes.
Let's see. Okay, let's get to a couple more comments here.
Sid and Julie.
What's up, guys?
Oh my gosh, we've missed
so
you
cool to see
guys.
on here.
Thank you for watching. So Sid and Julie, we met in Houston, our very first tour stop. We love them. And Leo, their sweet doggy.
Brian, thanks so much for saying that. We really appreciate it. Nash is a special dog. You know, we had Bo before him. He was our golden retriever before Nash, and there's a whole story to that you can find. We won't elongate on that tonight, but he is a really good dog. He loves people. He is a joy
Nash.
to be around. He is a joy to watch. He's fun to film. The kids love him. He's just one of the best dogs you could ask for, and we're just so blessed to have him and incredibly thankful. Okay, so let's keep going here. Keep the pace up. We wanted to try and make sure we didn't go too long on this. Between 30 and 45 minutes was our goal.
I am going to talk about where we are going for the rest of this year.
Perfect.
Okay. So everybody always asks, well, where are you headed next? And we were a little hesitant on that this year to just give our whole year plan because we were so new to this and we really wanted to give ourselves space in case we needed to adjust. And I'm glad we did because we adjusted very early. We were initially in Texas, planned to do the West and then loop back and end in Florida. But we met Matt. If you don't know him, from Matt's RV Reviews, who we got to team up with in Florida. So we ended up reversing and we went to Florida first.
We're going to Florida.
And now we're making our way around. So hopefully we will be a little bit better planned. We had some different things we had to keep up with this year.
There are some moving parts.
But anyway.
But what's coming up from like leaving Pigeon Forge?
So
where are we going after that?
We will leave Pigeon Forge and book it all the way back west. We came from Montana back to Indiana, 1,800 miles. Now we are going back west after we're in Pigeon Forge this week. We will be in Salt Lake City for 2 weeks. And we're really excited about Salt Lake City. We are going to put together a meetup there. So if y'all are in Salt Lake City or know someone there, make sure they're following us on Instagram because we will be sharing all the details as soon as we know. But we are going to be hosting a doggy costume.
Yes, it's going to be so fun.
Doggy costume party. I'm so excited. Let me know what you think Nash should be for Halloween this year.
Yeah, we're trying to figure that out. We were on Chewy or Amazon or something.
Yeah, we don't know what Nash should be.
There's like hot dogs and tacos and
Sherry wants
lions.
To see Nash.
Oh. All right. So obviously RVs are very small, so we're back here on our couch. And
hi, Nashy. Say hi, Sherry.
Just hanging out. Just making sure that we don't mess up on our recording.
Okay, so yeah, let us know what you think Nash should be for Halloween. I'm very excited to hear your thoughts.
So Salt Lake for 2 weeks, which is roughly October 3rd to the 17th.
Yep. And then we had to Bend, Oregon for a week, and that will be just after Salt Lake. So about like the 18th, 19th for about a week. And then we head to Coos Bay, Oregon, and that'll be the last half of October. And then the first week of November, we are going
is so cool.
We are going to be in Redding, California.
Where's let's see where her last comment was, because I think she put a comment in here.
She did. Okay,
you can keep going. I'll look for it.
Thank you. We're going to be in Redding, California for an amazing golden retriever meetup called Golden Palooza. And this is an event where, they're expecting 75 to 100 plus golden retrievers to be there. And if you know us, you know we love dogs, but Goldens especially have our heart. So we are just so excited to meet everybody. I know there's a few people on here tonight that are going to be.
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, Janice, we can't wait to meet you either.
It's going to be so fun.
And if you are interested in attending this event, send us a message on Facebook or Instagram or leave a comment on YouTube, and I will make sure you have all the details for that. It's Sunday, November 7th. This is spaghetti brain I was talking about. Sunday, November 7th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Reading Convention Center. There's no registration. It's really just show up. First 75 participants get a little goodie bag.
Yep.
So you'll have some Nashies in there along with some other really fun things too.
Which is exciting.
Yep. And then we are going to be spending the rest of the year with family. For Thanksgiving and Christmas, and then we'll be making our way back to Florida, where we will spend winter because we are terrified. Which, Sid and Julie, we are stopping back through Houston.
Yes, don't you worry.
I will we're not skipping over Houston, but we are just not spending all winter in Texas after last year.
Will and Jen, you're going to have to stay tuned here for a few more minutes to learn what's going to happen here.
Okay, but mainly, okay, since everybody is asking about next year, let's talk about next year.
Hang on, look at this. This is sweet. So Isaac and Chloe do dock diving.
Oh my gosh, that's so
that's
fun.
Awesome. And yes, we want to teach Nash, so we will make that happen.
Nashie.
That would be a lot of fun.
You're going to learn how to dock dive.
That would be a lot of fun.
From real dock divers.
Okay, so let's talk about, we got through the end of the year, roughly. Let's talk about next year.
Yeah. So
we're finalizing plans now.
I feel like we're just getting started. Someone earlier asked when we're coming to New York. We really want to come to New York. We have actually great friends that live in upstate New York. And oh yeah, Barb, you asked. We are hoping to get that in next year. Yes. So like Sean said, you set out on this RV tour and you're like, oh, I'm going to cover all the United States, but you really quickly learn that is not possible. So, okay, 3 things.
Hang on. We have lions.
Oh, I love
Yogi Bear. that would be pretty
so
sweet.
Cute.
They actually have all those Yogi Bear Jellystone campgrounds. That'd be kind of cool. A lion. So we've got 2 for lions.
Such a cute lion.
All right. Keep them coming.
I think that's perfect.
Okay. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you. So next year.
Let me say this. Who rambles more? I don't think it's me. I think it's you.
Oh my gosh. Nash just drooled all over my knee. Great times.
Okay. We are going back into talking about 3 things we can expect next year.
Okay.
Kick us off.
So one of the things that we didn't get to do enough of, and we are going to do a little bit more even as we end the year here, but that's the meet and greet events where you can come out and meet Nash, but ultimately we just have like a really fun doggy get together. We've been calling them yappy hours, just opportunities, multiple opportunities when we're at we'll say tour stop or a location to just get together. And every city was a lot different as we've been traveling this year, as you all can imagine. And so it was just really hard logistically to know when we were coming in, to a certain city, what we would and wouldn't be able to do. And if we had planned something, if those plans would get disrupted and, just kind of the tailspin of having to change on the fly. And RVing being what it is, it's already difficult to do some of those things. So we do know next year, we're going to be really hyper focused on that. And it's going to be just really fun stuff. We're not going to roll out all the details yet because there's some really fun little hidden surprises in there. But you can expect a lot more like events out of it.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, we just love meeting people. And like Sean said, we just weren't sure what that was going to look like this year. So this year was very much our learning year.
Yeah,
we felt like we just
test.
Dipped our toes in the sand and now we're really figuring that out. So stay tuned. Okay. Second thing you can expect for next year. And this honestly came as a big surprise to us. So if you know our story, you know that we've all been all about therapy dogs this year. And we love that. But we actually had an encounter when we were in Rapid City with a man named Tony. And Tony is a veteran of our military. And he had just a story that totally rocked Sean and I to our core.
Yeah, it was pretty powerful.
And we have probably talked about him like daily since then. And we did not realize.
Renee.
Heck yeah.
If only you saw the behind the scenes footage that doesn't get put in the videos.
We'll be like talking I'm going to get back to what we were talking about, but we'll be talking at night and I'll be talking and Sean's like falling asleep. And he's like, I just need you to just.
Good times.
Anyway, so getting back to service dogs. So we noticed that there is we have spent this whole year telling people the difference between a service dog and a therapy dog, and there's a huge difference. For instance, Nash could never be a service dog. One, because we don't need him for any type of need like that, but two, I just don't think he'd make the cut.
He wouldn't.
But there is a need for these dogs, just like there's a need for therapy dogs. But we just saw it firsthand when talking with Tony, and I think it just completely rocked us.
Yeah.
And Sean and I have been talking a lot about, well, what would it look like if we started reaching out to service dog organizations and talking with them and getting involved? I think recently, more than ever, I mean, Sean and I are huge believers in our freedom, and we love America, and we love our military, we love our law enforcement, and we've been talking a lot about how can we help?
Right.
Because there's a need, there's a supply and demand need. I mean, Tony waited for
three and a
two
half
and a half
years.
or 3.5 years to get a dog, and he ended up getting Rush, his yellow lab, because the hockey team in Rapid City got together and they donated Rush to Tony.
Which
and
it is a funding problem.
It is a funding problem. There's just so much.
These dogs cost about $30,000 to train, to obtain the dog, to just do everything, to care for the dog. And that's, right around a 2-year period of time. So it's expensive. And then you have the training and, trainers that are certified to do it, and lack of trainers. And there's just this whole issue, which all compounds to making a wait that long. And we're talking, some of our veterans have PTSD. These are brain injuries that they, PTSD is separate than a brain injury that can occur. Any kind of battle wound that happens that leaves them disabled. There's multiple layers of this, and they come back and have to wait for that long. We're seeing a big problem there. And something really cool that we just found out about, because it just happened August 25th, is there was a new bill signed into legislature that runs a test pilot for 5 years. It's called the PAWS Act, PAWS. I'm totally drawing a blank right now on what that stands for. But it is a pilot program where the government will partner with the VA, and the VA will partner with these nonprofit organizations like Canines for Warriors, and they will fund these service dogs for veterans. So they're running a test pilot. I don't recall what the total amount of funding was, but this is huge. For them to put a bill like this together and get it approved and across the finish line, it is years, if not decades of work. And it is a huge step in the right direction. So we're really, really excited to see that come across just a few weeks ago. And so anyways, that kind of leads to, we're not saying necessarily that we're going to be only focused on service dogs, but what you can expect is that we're going to incorporate more of that into what we're doing, whether it's interviews or additional stories, all the good stuff.
Well, I think, you break it down: service dog, therapy dog, regular house, regular dog that lives at home without a job. They're a dog, and anybody who has a dog that has an intense bond and an intense connection with them, the joy that they bring. And the truth is that we've seen the joy that therapy dogs have had, but we also see a really big need, and we really feel that there's a fire that's stirring in our soul with service dogs.
And they're extremely expensive. And it is a funding issue. Point blank, spending $30,000 on a dog, people can't do. And so there are more corporations that need to step up and sponsor them. You see all these things get crowdfunded, whether it's like a backpack or, there's all kinds of things that raise millions and millions of dollars online, $5 at a time, literally. So there's a way to channel this. We just have to figure out how to all come together and do it so that we can, support our veterans and support the people, not just veterans, but support the people that really need a service dog to make their life better. That's at the end of at the end of the day, what they do is they make their life better.
Oh, Nash has cousins all over that are service dogs. Connie.
Yes,
that is all because amazing. Of you.
So we had a question up here from John. So how has the pandemic affected any of our planned tour stops? Honestly, it hasn't.
But there's an asterisk.
Yeah, we'll go
That's ahead. Because we chose states that, that's why we didn't get out east this year.
Right.
We chose states that were more open, like Texas and Florida, Montana. But that's also why we didn't disclose our full tour schedule at the beginning of the year, because we really, we
had to be able to change it up.
We were winging it.
Yeah.
You keep going.
So no, that was, it really didn't affect us. we were smart about, not getting too many people together. I think our biggest event had like 50 people, and we kept stuff outdoors and outside of the Rapid City one, which was in that indoor bar dog park, which is really cool. So anyways, yeah, that hasn't been an issue. And then number 3, which we're going to get back to Will's question.
Which it was way up there. So Will, we're calling you out on this one.
Yes. So we are going to be getting Nash a brother, and we don't know the specific timing of it yet. There's, some Mother Nature plans. We're working closely with Connie at Majestic Manor to make sure that Nash gets as good of a brother as he possibly can.
One that maybe makes him go on walks.
Yes. And just has such a good time together. And so that kind of leads us into, the first, like we mentioned with Florida, the first few months of next year will be spent in Florida. And we're going to bounce around between a couple locations. But if all goes well, that's when we would expect to bring Nash's brother home and work through training. And there's some real risk with puppies around an 8-week timeline, which is roughly 2 months, or is 2 months, but
between
roughly that
up until 16 weeks.
Yeah, between that period of time, so 16 weeks old for the puppy, but like we wouldn't get the puppy until about 8 weeks. So there's an 8-week time frame for us where we have to be extremely cautious with that puppy because there's risks like parvo out there that are real. I actually had a dog growing up that my parents got him. We called her Jade, a few days before Christmas, and she got parvo and died a couple days after Christmas as a puppy. So from very early on as a child, that has put a lot of fear in me. So we were very cautious with that. So, we'll just have some logistics there, but it'll be some fun content. We'll show you everything. We're going to show you the training, the 4 a.m. wake up calls, the barking, the training not to bark, all the things that go into it, all the fun stuff with the puppies. So,
but yeah,
stay tuned for that.
And getting a second dog was something we always wanted to do with Bo. So this has been something that we have wanted literally our entire time together, the last decade. I will say though, I'm also very nervous, bringing a puppy home to 300 square feet and Victoria, I knew you would be Victoria. So happy. Oh my gosh. So Victoria, she is my friend, and she lives just outside of Indy.
She's my friend too.
She's more my friend. She's your friend too. I'll let her be your friend. But she has a golden named Trapper, and she takes the best photos. She has taken our family favorite photos. So if you find yourself in Indianapolis and need a photographer, she is your gal.
We weren't very good at keeping secrets.
No,
I mean, we kind of mentioned it a little bit, but
we have mentioned it a lot. Yeah. But yeah. Okay.
So
we have
that was 3.
Yeah.
We have a little bonus for you, which is probably the biggest news out of all of it.
Too bad there's not sound effects for drum rolls.
Wish we could do a little thing.
Okay, ready, set.
Are you gonna say it? You can say it.
We're launching a TV show.
Yes, we have a TV show. We've actually been filming it the entire tour. We just kept pretty tight-lipped on it because there were some moving parts around timing of launching it and just some other fun things that we were doing. We dropped some hints in, kind of scattered. So if you saw any of I think it was a story, or did you do a post?
I did a post on Facebook. I vaguely talked about it on Instagram though.
Yes, we had a really cool interview. We've been meeting up with people as we've traveled, and we met up with Andrew Dost, which, if you guys remember the band Fun, they had a really cool hit song and had some awesome other songs. But we got to meet up with him, and he's a passionate dog lover, and he showed us, or we didn't walk around Traverse City, but we did some filming around some areas, and he just showed us a little bit of the culture and some really exciting things. But that's going to be airing on Dog TV, which is a really cool network that is just for dogs, and they're incorporating a lot more human content, of which our TV show is going to be one of those. So it will be called Pause for Love. We just got the theme song back a few weeks ago, and it's super cool.
So catchy.
It's awesome. We're humming it. Pause for Love. It's so cool.
Oh, yeah. We sing it all the time.
That is going to be really fun. It actually will air here in a matter of weeks. So we can't say the exact date yet. We're doing a coordinated announcement, but it will be in a matter of weeks. It'll be on Dog TV, and I believe there are 10 episodes.
10 episodes. Yeah. So it will pretty much go from launch through the rest of the year. It might spill a little over into 2022, which feels so weird to say.
Yeah.
But, I mean, when we started this, very quickly after we found out about it, but we still are like, we haven't, I mean, even if nobody watches our show because they don't like us, just to say to our kids
We
one
worked
day
with the
that,
team to
that
do
we
it.
did
Yeah.
a TV show is going to be so cool. So we hope you will watch our
Yeah.
TV show so it does.
it's
So
been
maybe
really
they want to do another episode or another season.
Oh man, this drool! I just put my hand in it again.
So
Anyways,
if you're like, what is Sean talking about? Nash came up and literally drooled
on my
all
knee.
over
It's a good time.
his knee.
But what's really fun is we've had creative control on this show. And that was pretty important to us going in to even do this in the first place. Is, you know, our number one objective with doing this is to make sure that people are aware of therapy dogs, what it takes to get a therapy dog certified and trained, and ultimately what they do for our communities. And then using all of that, the point of all of it is to inspire people to just take those next steps if they feel prompted to go and do it. So we're really excited to share that message. We're excited potentially for season 2 to talk a little bit more about the service dog side of things, and maybe even specific with our veterans and that sort of thing. So that'll be really exciting. And yeah, that'll be rolling out here in a couple weeks. So definitely stay tuned for that.
Oh, we're so excited.
We're coming up on 46 minutes. So we will get this wrapped up. Does anybody have any last questions here? We'll be sure to answer those before we hop off. I'm going to scroll back through here and see if there was anything. Here we go from Elizabeth.
By the way, Elizabeth was who we helped via email for prepping for her RV.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Spaghetti brain number 2.
Yeah.
How do we book you for an educational event? I would love to have my high school students meet you guys as entrepreneurs. I am a college and career readiness.
That's amazing.
That's so fun.
Yeah, well, you've got our email, so let's talk about that. That'd be a lot of fun. Definitely right up our wheelhouse, and we would love to do that. Yeah. Christina, actually, before we moved from Nashville, she did a really cool event for Battleground Academy to talk about social media, because she built Daily Barker over, about 4 or 5 year period of time to 500,000 followers, which is what you see today. So for those of you that came from Daily Barker, thank you for letting us transition that community into Pause for Love.
People could be like, what's Daily Barker?
Yeah, we won't get into that story. There's some posts you can see about
our Instagram account. We started 5.5 years ago when we lost Bo. It started as Daily Barker. It is now Pause for Love. You have not lost any part of the story, so that's kind of it. Okay.
Oh yeah, here we go. Will and Jen, I missed this. I'm sorry.
Yes,
we will be at the Tampa RV show. So basically, we're planning on December. We'll be rolling through Texas, hitting some spots, seeing some friends like Sid and Julie, and we'll be slowly kind of making our way to Florida in time for the Tampa RV show. So as soon as those tickets get announced, our goal is to actually camp at the show. So if anybody is going there, or if anybody has had experience doing that in the past, please let us know, because we are totally newbies in this category.
Yes.
And would love to just immerse ourselves in the culture, because we've been, Will and Jen especially, and with Matt, they've been doing some awesome live streams from the Hershey show in Pennsylvania, and we've been very jealous that we couldn't go to that. Very excited to be here at the Lippert Rally, but definitely bummed we weren't able to slide that in between the Grand Design Rally that we just went to and then here at Lippert. So let's see here. Oh yeah, we love Mission Barbecue. We actually had that at the Grand Design Rally. If it's the same one.
That's the same one?
I think so.
Is it a chain?
If it's the military one, I think it's the same.
Yeah, they have like military.
Oh yeah,
branding.
It is what they do for veterans. So that's awesome.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Oh, all right.
There we go.
Well, you guys, seriously, we cannot. I know that we really respect your night. We respect that Sundays are to relax and prep for your week. And it just means a lot that you spent it with us tonight.
Yeah, we really appreciate that.
I mean, we pour our heart into just loving people. And literally, you guys, Sean worked so hard setting this up and making that video. So thank you for joining us tonight, and just for making us always feel so encouraged and so loved. You have no idea how much it means to us. And we
means
just
everything.
Hope that we can give you that in return. So,
yes.
Well, have a wonderful week.
It's going to be a good week. It's a good day. It's a good week for a good week.
Is it?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay. Of course it's going to be a good week. We're at the Lippert Rally.
Yeah. September's almost over. We're almost into Q4.
You're so businessy right now.
Q4 is a big quarter.
You're so businessy. Okay, I'm going to hold you to some strict goals.
Okay.
What do you say? I went to business school. I can't think of anything right now. Okay, y'all. Guys. We love you. Have a
Thanks for
wonderful
tuning in.
week.
We'll see you soon.